What do you do when you only have a few simple tools for painting and you want to add your own unique touch to your canvas? Well, I don't want you to ever think that what you have isn't enough. So I'm going to show you one simple way that you can add texture to create your own unique look on your next canvas. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to turn the camera around so you can get a clear view of what I'm painting and how I'm painting it. And here we go. All right, stick with me for a sec. All right, let's see here. I'm just going to adjust this a little bit. Get you up. Whoop. Okay. Switch over. Sorry for the adjustment here. It's taking me just a second. There we go. I think that's better. All right. So I'm working on my mixed media canvas. Got some paints out. And I've got a couple of cool tools I'm going to share with you. So, this is for you, the creative go-getter who has a desire, an inner calling, or creative voice just begging to be expressed. I'm Heather Freeman, and each week I'm taking you on an in-studio look into the real-life creative tactics and strategies for getting that artistic voice that you have onto more canvases. So thanks for spending time with me, and let's get started. All right. So when my oldest daughter, Bailey, was 5, and we were totally engrossed with the day-to-day. So I was a stay-at-home mom, and I'm going to get out some of my pink. Got to get a few colors on my palette. I need a little bit more brown. So yeah, I was a stay-at-home mom, and we also had our little Zoe. She was 2 at the time. And some days definitely felt like marathons. Looking back, I can see moments of when I was just exhausted, right? Pure exhaustion, working on automatic. And it was a crazy time. And one day I really needed something to keep us busy for a while. So here I've got just a few different colors of paints that I'm working with. Really pull together whatever paints you feel drawn to. It's all about, connecting with your inner artist and whatever makes you happy. So these are the colors that I pulled out today, but I totally encourage you to pick out colors that you love to play with. So one day we needed something to keep us busy for a while. And so, I brought my youngest, Zoe, to the high chair. And I had a few jars of Play-Doh. And let's see. Let's do some little petals here for one of the techniques I want to show you. I'm just going to lay in a flower here. And so Zoe was in her high chair. And then I had Bailey. I need some more purple. Where'd my purple go? Bailey, I pulled her up to the table, threw a few things down that she could start playing with. So scraps of paper. I had like some tape, a roll of tape. I think I had some like rubber bands and toilet paper rolls. Just a mishmash of things that I had laying around. And I threw them all on the table, and she was happy as a clam. She jumped right in, started just crafting things, and it wasn't anything specific. She really just dove right in, and what she ended up with was some really cool sculptures with like bridges and paper just sculpted in all these different directions with what she had. And she stayed busy, I want to say, for like 45 minutes, an hour. It was amazing. And kids' attention span is not very big when they're that young. So that was super cool. She was only 5, and she really didn't care that she was crafting from things that I had found around the house and literally from like our recycling bin. And she was just happy to be creating, happy to be doing something. And the same is true when it comes to our painting. You know, we really don't need high-end, high-dollar paint supplies to get creative and let our inner artist out to play. You know, it's always fun when we, where'd my other paintbrush go? When we can invest in those kinds of materials and tools, but it's really not necessary. And, you know, I've been painting for a while, and I still, you know, I've definitely invested in some things, which is super fun. But I still use simple things from around the house. So yeah, it can be super fun to invest in those, you know, really good high quality paintbrushes. There is a difference, you know, with in terms of some of the materials used, but if they're not necessary, you don't need them to just dive in and be able to be creative if that's what your inner artist is craving to do. So I've got a few things here. I've got a cork that I'm going to show you how I'm going to work with today. I have my box. I have a whole box of goodies that I've kind of saved up. But I've got some bubble wrap. I want to show you how to use some bubble wrap. And then using something you already have. And the first one is this one, is your paintbrush. So to paint with me, I really only recommend a few simple painting supplies, and the pointed paintbrush is one of them. And you can use the tip of your paintbrush to create some details and some texture. So like with my flowers here and my petals, I've laid in already, and then I've done some stamen, and then I can use the tip of my brush to make some really small dots with a little detail. And this comes in handy for so many ways. I mean, not only for flowers, I've used it to add snow to a winter scene. There we go. So super easy, just use the tip of that paintbrush, a little bit of paint on it, and it adds some detail to your flowers. Let me show you that a little bit closer. So some flowers going in different directions, and yeah, you can add a little bit of detail with the back of your paintbrush. So, you know, really buy what feels good to invest in initially, and then use your painting tools in different ways. So you don't have to just use your paintbrush to paint. With this end, you can certainly use the tip of the paintbrush as well. Use what you have. So you can use everyday things that you have around you. So often, you know, when we're getting things in the mail these days, it comes with bubble wrap. And you can use bubble wrap for, you know, a pink blossom tree, a nice spring tree. Let me paint in, get a little tree going here and show you. So yeah, so it's getting to be that time of the year where we're kind of itching a little bit to have some spring weather. And if it's feeling a little farther away than you want, paint a beautiful spring tree. And using your bubble wrap is one way you can do it. Something around the house, you know, like I said, Bailey did not care what she had that in front of her. She was just mostly excited about getting in and creating. So I've got my bubble wrap. You can really cut this into different sizes. And I'm just going to scrunch it up. And actually, I'm going to dry this really quick. So give it a quick punch with my heat gun so that the colors don't blend. I actually want those tree branches to stay tree branches. All right. And then I'm just going to dab my bubble wrap into my paint. I'm going to get a little bit of that off. I don't want too much paint on there, or else it'll just look like big blobs. Here we go. I used to have a gorgeous cherry blossom tree in my front yard. And every spring it was the one thing that I would, look for the sign of spring coming. When that tree got started with its blossoms and could watch it kind of go from bud to opening up into this beautiful flowers is gorgeous. So now I'm just laying on some white to get some different shades of the pink. When you look up close to a cherry tree when it's getting ready to blossom, it has different tones of pink and with the white, and it's really just a gorgeous, gorgeous tree. So there I've got, with my bubble wrap, I've got my little cherry blossom tree. All right. Super easy, super simple way to start playing and start painting. And then the last one I want to show you is the cork. So I've got a cork. I had a cork. Here it is. Let's see. Let's turn this get to a fresh page. Let that dry. And the cork is another great one. If you like drinking wine when you're painting, which I sometimes do, and a lot of my painters like to do as well, save your cork, and you can use your cork as a stamp. A super simple way to reuse something that you have around the house, and you can save up your money to buy the more expensive supplies that you want. So use something around the house and make a great use out of something. So this cork, I'm just using the flat edge of it for a stamp. You can also make some great stamps out of this, some different shapes you can cut into. If you're interested in seeing more about that, let me know in the comments. I'd love to share that with you on some really fun ways that you can make different shapes out of a cork. And so you can make a hydrangea is a great thing you can make with a cork. So let me show you how to do that. So I'm just going to dip it in my paint. And again, I'm going to maybe tap it a little bit just to get some of that excess paint off. And you know what? First I want to get a little bit of green. And we'll put a little stem down first. Here. And we'll just start stamping. A little bit more paint. Just kind of back and forth. Make the shape of our hydrangea. So really another simple, easy way to use something that you already have around the house and start playing. See what you can come up with. So my point is, whatever you have, use what you have, right? So Bailey, I literally put a bunch of things that I had from the recycling bin onto the table, and she stayed busy for at least an hour. Use what you have, and when you have money to invest in your painting tools, use your money wisely and buy what feels good to invest in. Use your painting tools in a different way. So the tip of the paintbrush is a great way to kind of make a double use out of your paintbrush. Use everyday things around the house, like the bubble wrap, to create a beautiful tree. There's so many wonderful things you can make with bubble wrap. You could even use this for a simple layer on a canvas, and to kind of build up from there and use this as one way to get some texture. And then, use a cork. Cork is another great tool, and you can paint hydrangeas, you can paint all kinds of flowers, you can carve into it and create different shapes and use it as a stamp. So this type of joy is so possible when playing with acrylics and using simple tools that you have around the house. So I want to know, what's around the house that you could use? Is there something that I haven't mentioned here that you could use around the house? And share with me. Put it in the comments. And if you don't know, I have a free online paint studio where you can share your creations with me. So I love that you're watching today, and I would love if you wanted to take this and try it out and show me in our free online studio. And if you want more tutorials like this, let me know in the comments. And if you have a friend that you think would have fun painting with us, then please pass this along. All right, so I will see you next time at the canvas. Have a great day, everybody. Bye for now.